Now we're going to be getting set up here for semi-final number 2. And this is where things are going to get very interesting because it was noted before, you know, Brian said this is the land of opportunity, right? This is the land of opportunity. So we'll see how this plays out. Ali, I want to get your thoughts here, man.
Yeah, cool to see, isn't it? You know, Lightning coming through there, taking the first position in those first semi-final rounds. We're now moving on to the next group, and we're coming back again to Yas Marina for that. It's back again with that LMP2. That's the Spider Evo RS, so that's an awesome car. If you guys, if you're watching the stream and you want to see what a really fast, well-tuned car looks like, grab one of these stock, because actually it's got a beautiful front end, it's got lovely corner exit rotation you get from the acceleration. That is just a nice car all around. I would just recommend you go out and give it a go, and at whatever track you like, it'll perform well.
You know, I wish Ali spoke about me the way that he speaks about the Spider Evo, man. I tell you, it just... Whew. One day we'll get there, man. Yeah. You know. But thank you so much, Renee, for the consoling. Seriously though, yes, I totally agree. And these LMP cars, man, they will zip through the track. But what's interesting though is you're taking this into Yas Marina, which really has that one solid straightaway, and everything with that is just crazy turn here, chicane here, boom. It's just kind of it's crazy to see how these drivers are going to manage this car. But guys, it's time to get ready for our second semifinal. We're going to be making our way to Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina, and let's jump into it.
Ali said it already. This car is great to rotate on the exit of the turn because you can actually use the accelerator to just turn it a bit more, turn it a bit less, however you prefer, but you still need to maintain balance of the whole car because it relies heavily on aerodynamics, and if you mess that up, then you have big problems. We didn't saw that so far in the first group. Some struggled a bit, but most of them seem to be very good on this P-Class car. But in the second group, I mean, GDZ Chris, he's the one that should be the fastest based on time trial. The time trial before, he was super close to Leish on that time trial, so he should be the favorite in this one. But look, it's Box, 7, Essex, Raceboy, Rossi, Zermatt, Diablo, and Chemical in there. So Chemical starting from last, so it's not first, this is 9th. Diablo in 8th, then we got Zermatt in 7th position, Rossi in 6th, then we got the Twitch personality himself, Raceboy, on 5th, and Essex, another Frenchman, right behind his teammate, actually. So you see Essex on the right and 7 on the left. Not really being on 7, it's on 3rd right now. And Box, the runner, basically the runner-up of Lightning and Leish in the first seasons. And then GDZ Chris on top. And I'm pretty sure that GDZ Chris was not on the list of favorites for this whole Invitational, but coming up with a 2nd position in the time trial is great. And they're starting off the line here is GDZ Chris actually able to defend his first position into turn 1 while we're sticking with Chemical? I would love to see the front pack there. Chemical on a bit of problems here. Rossi trying to defend him there. Side-by-side action with Essex. Essex lost a bit of traction there while we see Raceboy getting bumped from the back. Yeah, that was really hard. Diablo trying to push through there, knocking at the door, mate, I'm here, and I want to make the pass. Essex against Rossi, so Essex definitely lost some positions early on. 7 on 3rd position. I think that was Box. Yep, Box still on 2nd position, and GDZ Chris, the leader. Fastest guy in time trial of this group, and still the leader of our first semi-final race. Essex 5th, Raceboy 6th, Diablo, Chemical, and then Zermatt being in last position. So the esports plus cars guy in this group actually have to step up their game. They currently are not in the best position. Well, we see a mistake here by BAM7 getting overtaken by Rossi, then losing it to his teammate as well. So Essex moved up to 4th position and Rossi to 3rd actually, while we got Box trying to put some pressure onto GDZ Chris, and we know that Box can be a nightmare to have in your rearview mirror. While oh dear, Rossi side-by-side action with 7 here. Essex went through already. The BAM guys trying to work together to make their way up to the top here. Essex could actually try to cover up inside line for Rossi, breaking a bit more and give 7 a run on the outside, but not on those really tight 90-degree turns. And then we see a quick bump in the back, giving Raceboy the chance to have a look here on position number 5. Oh, a bump from the back. That was a bit harsh. Yeah, I mean, this was serious stuff.
I mean, Raceboy is right on his tail. Ali, what do you have?
Absolutely, we're here on board now with Box, just racing down. Yeah, GTZ Chris there in the lead. I mean, it's all about Box now piling on the pressure, making sure that he's just got Chris uncomfortable. I've got to say though, I mean, Chris was in the previous rounds here of the Forza RC. We've seen him before. He's no stranger, but at the same time, it's amazing to see him. Yeah, a little slide there. Amazing to see him just pushing these cars to this next level. And look at that, action on track. So I'll send it back to you guys.
Wow, just that one moment there, Renee, and here you have it. The whole front of the pack is mixed up. Box is not in a great position by any means whatsoever, and Seven's going to look to take the opportunity, but Box is getting right back into it on the inside, cutting him in there, and my goodness, this has turned into insanity so quickly.
It was actually Chris doing that mistake there. And Box was like, okay, I don't want to get involved. He didn't want to get involved in that. He thought he might crash us into GTZ Chris, went wide, totally lost concentration on that turn, giving everyone else a chance to jump in there. But Box is now on the way back to the top, racing against Seven here. But Seven is not someone that you just easily overtake, especially on such a tight corner there. But wow, what happened? The front just totally changed due to Box's mistake. Yeah, that's the problem with losing your rhythm. You know, like you have to be in the rhythm to really race at your best. And after he got that quick moment where he was surprised by what GTZ Chris did, while we see Box cutting the track there, Raceboy punishing him right away and wants to have a look at Seven as well on the inside there, going side by side, still Box in there, hanging in there, trying to get past Raceboy here, the guy from Canada, being under pressure, racing of the German Box. Box on the inside line, clean racing there. They didn't even touch at all. Both teammates of Esports Plus Car still chasing Seven there, but GTZ Chris, he will be super happy doing a mistake, and Seven did a mistake as well, giving a chance here to Box, but Box doesn't want to do that on the outside.
Renee, where did GTZ Chris come from, right? Because coming into this competition, there was so much discussion about Lightning, about Lage, you know, about Harmonic, and, you know, a lot of these other names that we've seen, Asics as well. But tell me about GTZ Chris. Like, who is this guy and what is he capable of doing here? Because so far, he's looking pretty solid. And, oh, man, that exchange was definitely interesting there.
Yeah, Raceboy trying to get more intimidated here with his opponent. Box there while everyone's piling up behind him. That's Diablo while we're on Chemical here. They're all looking onto Raceboy. But talking about GTZ Chris, he's one of those invisible guys, more or less. Like, he's not highlighted by the community that much. He's not out there screaming his name all over the place like, I'm here, I'm GTZ Chris. But he can be super, super fast, and he's a specialist on some of the cars. So maybe the P car class just fits him perfectly. We will see if he is able to pull off the same performance in race number 2, but in race number 1 it looks perfect for him right now. Wow, still diving in there. It's number 10 here, Box trying to make a pass.
Ali, talk to me. What's going on your end?
Yeah, if we jump over here to Bam Asics 13, he's currently chasing down GTZ Chris. Chris has been super, super consistent from the beginning of this race, and that's what racing's all about, you know, just keeping those lap times tidy, keeping your nose out of trouble, but at the same time, Asics has that raw pace, and you can see him closing that gap lap on lap. So is the race long enough for Chris, and is Asics consistent enough to stay behind him?
Yeah, and of course, folks, if you're just joining us here, we're on lap 3 of 8 here in the Yas Marina Abu Dhabi race, and this has certainly been an interesting one here. Keep in mind, we already have our 4 competitors who are in the grand finals. This is our second semi-final, which means that the 4 competitors from here will advance into that one and join their colleagues in the grand final. Everyone else, though, will be sent to the last chance qualifier. And for a guy like GTZ Chris, who you had mentioned before, he's kind of been invisible, a guy who doesn't go at the top of a mountain and yell his name. He certainly is making a name for himself here, but another person who has made a name for himself in the Forza RC is Asics, and he gets right in the first place and is now in the driver's seat. This is looking really, really good for him. And how did GTZ Chris let that one slip out of his hands there?
I mean, we saw Chris struggling a bit already. He did that mistake that cost the position for the second guy behind him. It was Box struggling due to that mistake. But Asics making the move on the outside, that's a statement. You just go in there and say, hey mate, I could easily overtake you on the outside, and I will do it right now. I'm pretty sure that's hard onto Chris. Look at Asics just trying to calm down. I'm pretty sure he was super hyped for that one moment. It's actually looking more like he's relaxing, here's some music. Maybe he got the right soundtrack for this.
Potentially. I mean, the Frenchman looking to dominate here in this competition. But of course, GDC Chris, do not write him off just yet. He wants to get right back into the swing of things here, rocking the #1 tag in his on his car. He knows that the pressure is on. They have plenty of laps to go here. He's just looking for one opportunity, but is ASIC's the kind of guy to give him that opportunity there?
I mean, we know that ASICs can be super, super fast, but he's also one of those guys that use their own hype to really come up with incredible performance. But as soon as he's losing that, he's losing focus as well, which is one of the biggest problems in racing. You want to be sure that you're a bit of nervous, like that you're in this zone, fully concentrated.
You're focused.
Yeah, and as soon as you do lap after lap after lap, you might lose that in case there's no fighting going on.
Yeah, and we've been talking a lot about what's going on in the top positions here, but I want to get some remarks there on what's going on in the lower positions. Ali, what do you have?
Absolutely. At the back of the pack here, it's Chemical and Diablo battling it out over the scraps here. It's for 7th place in this race. All the points matter. You know, the better you do, the less work you need to do in the second race. So it's all still possible for these guys, but Chemical and Diablo not having the ideal races. I mean, especially given that everyone in these heats is just super fast.
Yeah, and this is, again, two names who we've seen, you know, thrive in Forza RC numerous times. They've had good, solid performances in the past, but this time around, you know, to kind of quote what, what Ali said, right? Just kind of dealing with the scraps there in the background and just trying to get as many points as they possibly could.
I mean, Chemical is definitely not happy about his current position, but there was a mistake right in front of him. He might took advantage of that. Chemical is used to be with his teammates. Well, that's what we saw in Season 2 in the Grand Final. It was always esports plus cars next to each other. And this time, it's not the case. He got Zerman on his back, yes, but it's Diablo he's fighting with. And Diablo seems like a strong opponent for him. But Rossi is currently in 3rd position. That's something I really like because Rossi is one of my, let's say, favorites when it comes to his character. He's calm, he's a nice guy, he's great to hang out with, and being on position #3 without really having a highlight moment while we see Chris getting onto ASICS, and it's Rossi coming up with position #1 just because both tried to fight out, but ASICS going back. GDC Chris might be a bit over the top here, trying to squeeze in there. Rossi tried to defend that. It's 7 actually waiting in the back, sneaking up to them, thinking like, hey guys, if you do this, if you start to be chaotic, it might be me ending up on 1st position, but Rossi's still hard onto GDC Chris. So on the outside, there's no rear fender, but normally it will be on rear fender there. ASICS got away. It was actually good luck for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got very lucky.
That could have went bad really quick there, Renee. And I have to say, Rossi, he smelled blood. He went for it. He had the opportunity, but a great recovery there from ASICS is going to keep him in that 1st place position here as we get ready and get into our 6th lap of this race. It could not be closer. In the top 4, what a fantastic race to just start it off in semifinal 2.
I just fear that the guys get too fired up right now because everyone had a look at 1st position now. Everyone was like, oh, I was so close actually to get it, so I should make it happen now. So hopefully nothing will happen. Well, we got the Porsche badge here, great. Not on the account, who knows, you might need it later on. But Ross, like I said, Rossi, GDC Chris, BAM7, ASICS, of course, since he's currently in the lead, they all had the chance to win this race so far. So I'm pretty sure they will try even harder now for the last 2 laps. But BAM7 here, not really up to pace right now. I had to let Rossi go a bit, but Rossi also increased that gap to GDC Chris. But GDC Chris, he is all over the Frenchman and on every turn. But it seems like Chris loves to knock at his door. I mean, he's not shy. He's I will just stay here and wait for your mistake, but hey, I can pressure you into a mistake. I will bump you each and every time. Not hard, not that you spin out, just to let you know, hey, mate, I'm still here. In case you didn't check your rear view mirror, I'm all over you, and one day I will make it.
Ali, talk to me, man. Rossi has, he's looking for the opportunity. Chris is all over ASICS, but can Rossi potentially find his way back into this one?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can see Rossi here just rubbing his hands together. He thinks it's going to be Christmas time for him. He wants those 2 guys to get caught up in a battle once again, then he'll be through absolutely into that lead position. I think he was a little bit polite from Rossi earlier in this race. I mean, he's a very popular guy, definitely somebody who's a very fair racer, and I think maybe he could have got his shoulders out a little bit more there and held back ASICS from taking back that position.
Yeah, and then you also see too just a lot of activity as well. I mean, look how close Box is as well, right? I mean, they are all over one another at this point in time as we are into the 7th lap
Box
in
moving
this
on to
one.
the inside of 7 there.
Ooh, he's finding those opportunities where he can, and he's also going in for an inside turn here too, so he is looking to take this one over, but have to be mindful of this next one, and it seems like he is finding his stride, and he is taking that 4th place spot. What is going on right now, Renee? This has just been amazing.
But that's totally different to the first group. First group was a bit set, like we knew the names on top, and everyone was just racing his own race. But hey, it seems like everyone here wants to cuddle. It's just like, hey mate, come over here.
Friendship time.
Yeah, we have fun over here. Join us. Make the group even bigger. We had the top 2 fighting, then we had the top 3 fighting, then 4, then 5, nearly 6. I mean, Raceboy can get in there.
Raceboy's right there too, right? One small mistake, and Raceboy can find himself right into the thick of things too. So this is a great position for him to be in. And oh my God, what a close race at the top of the pack. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Diablo and Chemical all the way in the back field there, man. They're basically
look at Raceboy. He was waving at the camera.
I hate you.
Raceboy is still serious stuff here, mate. I know that you love to do that on Twitch, but you should not do that during the invitation, at least if you want to get home with all that money.
Okay. Raceboy does what Raceboy wants.
That's true. That's true.
And then he spins out.
Yeah, that would be great.
Knock on wood. All right.
Still, Chris trying to find a way around Essex here. It seems like Essex is really good in defending this because Chris, like said already, knocking at his door really, really hard.
And he's been there for a long time now too. So one of those mistakes, and Essex gives up that possession, that position.
Rossi could be the lucky man, to be honest. He's just waiting for Chris to finally dive in there, saying like, I need to pass him now. And if they do a mistake, it's just Rossi going away with it with a win.
Well,
just
it seems like
that.
Essex actually, he was able to build upon this lead here, and now starting to get away from them. And just as we were saying, we were talking about this battle here. I mean, look how close it is between Rossi and Box. They're just neck and neck. Not literally, but they're just on each other's back at this point in time. It is a close exchange. And 7, he's just a couple feet behind him as well.
I think there was some sort of mistake from one of them. Might be Box and then holding off Rossi, since the gap increased a bit here between GDZ Chris and not Box. I'm totally sorry.
Well, you know who would potentially have that information. Okay,
he's here with us. Right?
He's here right now. He is a Bond sub villain. Ali, what do you have?
Close stuff there between Rossi and GTZ Chris. The two guys really fighting it out on track. I mean, we saw them battling very close to each other, and it did result in contact, in a little bit of a bump on GTZ Chris. We've seen him fall down now from 2nd position in this race all the way back down the pack, I think to now 7th position, battling with Chemical and Diablo.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ali. Always great to hear from your insight. And, I have to say, man, this has just been such an incredible race thus far. Really close. Essex, so way to go on his end. He looked for the opportunity, and he was able to capitalize on it, and really at this point, like, I feel for Chris because he was in such a good spot in this race. And, just like that, in Forza, one small error, and you're done.
Forza is a big fan of Rossi. You saw that on top left. Perfect turn, perfect turn, perfect turn. Every time Forza gave him a perfect turn, but it's still not on the top. But yet, GTZ Chris, I mean, he had it in his own hands. Like, this race could have been his. Yeah, and now it's all over, let's be honest. But at that point on race number 1, he has to win race number 2, and everyone else has to be in the back.
That's a heartbreaker, man. I mean, GDC Chris, he came into this one in the pole position, second fastest time behind Lage, and he was able to take that first seed in semifinal group number 2, and he was in such a fantastic position throughout the entire race, and small details is what ended up killing him in the end. And there you have it, race complete. Of course, the Gfinity staff will, go through everything and, get us the final results later on. So we'll be sure to update you guys back at home on what those results may be, because there was a lot of activity in this race. So I'm sure they're combing over every single detail. But despite it all, though, you got to give credit where credit is due to Asics. He looked for the opportunity and he pounced on it right when he needed to, and he capitalized for it.
I still even think Asics was in control of that battle. GTZ Chris looked more like the guy who tried too hard.
Yeah.
Well, Asics was like, okay, I got this.
Yeah,
I know how to
just
defend.
go ahead and let you do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take advantage of it. And even if he wasn't engaging, so to speak, at the end of the day, you get in your own head.
He looked superior to GTZ Chris, and GTZ Chris just pushed even harder each and every time. And in the end, he got punished for this. And it's Rossi getting away with more points now. It's Box getting away with more points now. I'm pretty sure he can't overcome 8th position.
Yeah.
Of the first semifinal. So I really fear that this one moment where he tried too hard, we talked about that between Leish and Lightning in the first group. Should you really push for that? Should you try to make that move onto position number 1? And for Chris, it was definitely not worth it.
Well, and you know what too, for Chris, let's see here. Someone in 4th or 3rd has to colossally screw up in order for him to be able to, because let's say he finishes with he's going to start in the pole position again, right? So if let's say he starts with a pretty decent start, I mean, Chris could still find himself in a position, correct? I'm doing the math in my head, and then again, I'm not great with mathematics, but
I'm just not sure. Even if he wins this,
well, if he wins, he has to win.
Yeah, he has to win, but everyone else has to screw it up.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Which is very hard.
Right.
I mean, it's just
right.
9 people. It's not like 20 people on the grid.
It's true.
They all get away with some points, at least, besides the last position. So he would actually need someone to be last.
He would need one of those guys. Yeah. Yeah, he would need Box to screw up or 7, one of those two.
Yeah, it's not Rossi. Rossi scored too much already.
Rossi
Same
scored
for
too
Asics.
much, and Asics is gone. It'll have to be 7 or have to be Box.
So it's 25 points for the win, 18 for the next one, then 15.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, it's between 1st and 3rd. It's 10 points already.
Yeah.
So 25 for Asics, that's fine. Rossi, Box, they're all safe.
He would need a
more
miracle
or less
at this point.
A miracle, but hey, it's Forza RC. It's all about miracles. We know that. So
very true, very true. All right, so it looks like we have Asics firmly in 1st place. 7 is going to be in 2nd. Race Boy in 3rd. Hold me for a second, Renee. Dear God.
I will huck you even if you want to.
Oh, and Box is going to be in 4th. And then look at this here. So, GTZ Chris, he will be in 7th place. And Zermatt comes out with 2 down at the bottom. We really didn't get to talk about him all that much. But really, the big one here for me has to be the dramatic change that we saw, Rossi and Box kind of going down, and 7 and Race Boy ascending the ranks there, so to speak.